Hello, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. This is Badger Hat here, and today we are talking about DC Death Metal #1. The Encore is finally here, and it was absolutely amazing. Very first comic to the sequel of Death Metal, or not Death Metal, but a sequel to Metal, and it was just absolutely amazing. You have appearances from Superman, Wonder Woman, Swamp Thing, Batman, Wally West, and even the Batman who laughs himself, along with Perpetua. Like, you get a whole host of characters all shown up in here. You even have a character right at the very beginning, but I don't want to spoil it, so we're going to just skip over him. You also have references to so many story arcs. You have reference to Flash Forward, you have reference to Doomsday Clock, you have Justice League, Metal, and I think there's a few others. And Flash Forward is actually a sequel to the Heroes in Crisis story arc, and I think that's an awesome one to really look into. With all that being said, too, you also get to see what's been going on in the DC universe. You find out that the whole Earth has basically changed. I mean, it is very heavily themed to the medieval, but modern. It almost seems like a play going on between all the characters going through this whole event. And with what's been going on with Perpetua, you have her just nonstop going around destroying universes. That's what you're finding out she's doing. She's just going to every single universe and destroying it, leaving the current one that everyone's in, especially the one that Batman Who Laughs is in, alone because Batman Who Laughs has something that she wants, and that's feeding her power. Uh, so I'm really gonna try to avoid going into spoiler territory too much, like being a little bit vague about certain events or just talking about minor details here, mentioning characters who are there and all that fun jazz, but really trying to stay away from spoilers. But just so you know, fair warning, there is going to be spoilers in this video, but they're going to be as minor as I possibly can because we are going to talk about what everyone's been up to, but not like going heavily into the details. And just going in the first part is Wonder Woman, who has essentially become a warden for a prison in an or an arc. It's really hard to say, but I mean, because everyone's there who's jailed, and she has made a deal with Batman Who Laughs that essentially she does what he wants her to do, and her friends get to live. All these people that he's been bringing in get to live, and they get to be part of a new universe that Batman Who Laughs is going to create. Uh, you continue forward. Swamp Thing is with her too, which is pretty cool. Which you can tell that they have a pretty intimate relationship with each other now, because they respect each other, all that fun jazz. But they get word that a prisoner is coming, and this prisoner is being followed by three Dark Knights, which just shocks Wonder Woman. And she wants to know why there's someone being, taken in with three. So she goes over there. She meets the prisoner, but she doesn't get a good look at his face. But he does mention something to her that kind of makes her think, "Oh my god, I know who it is." And it just continues forward because before she can find out who it is and all that stuff, the Batman who's there, the Bat Mage is what he's referred to, says, "Hey, we have a meeting to go to, and you got to come along too, because obviously you can't skip out on this meeting." The Lord, as also known as Batman Who Laughs, is going to be there. So she follows because she can't do anything else with the whole information that she has right now. She has to go to this meeting, and Batman Who Laughs is there. You have Aquaman. It looks like Harley Quinn is there. You have Mr. Miracle there, and they're all like kind of in their own little section in the world, or being controlling a section of the world, and they're all bringing news to the Batman Who Laughs, who again has really fallen into the theme of modern medieval. He is the king of the land, and he definitely wears the crown to show it. You also get to see what Superman is up to, which it looks like he's just riding a machine. And the number one comment being said about him is that he is succumbing to the anti-life, which really shows off um, in the comic right here how his arm is so like damaged and he has those red eyes similar to the Omega beams. Uh, which again, really cool stuff. I mean, it's really cool what they're doing with all this stuff and all that jazz going on. And now you get to follow up with Batman, and Batman's using all sorts of magical items and very powerful equipment. One to bring the fight to Batman Who Laughs, and the other to communicate with the Justice League. And he actually has a message for Wonder Woman when he confronts everyone at this meeting that, hey, to win this battle, we have to do it small. We can't bring a massive war. We can't have massive casualties. And he also has a plan. And that plan is going to be basically just bringing everyone together in their own little world and going there basically as his own little planet arc going on. And Wonder Woman really argues with him because she wants more being done. She feels that this plan that Batman has isn't good enough and that they need to really work on something grander scheme because they can't just let Perpetua and Batman Who Last get away with what they want. Batman just kind of blows her off and leaves her to contemplate what she wants to do next. And that kind of leads us back to Wonder Woman because now the fight's over. Wonder Woman just returns back to where she's going, which is hell, but it's the mascara. So, kind of take that to your own. And she decides to go see the prisoner, thinking that, she needs to start doing something. She needs to be part of this fight now. She gets warned by Swamp Thing saying, like, hey, he's probably going to find out that you saw the prisoner and all that stuff. But she goes in anyways. And it turns out that this prisoner, who I'm not going to mention, but this prisoner has the information needed to defeat Perpetua, or at least has some form of information that can lead or give them a chance against Perpetua. He also explains, like, how the anti-life matter, the antimatter, the matter, and all that stuff really comes together, which is really cool. And like how all these different energies, how Perpetua and the people like her use energy to build worlds and so on and so forth, and it's really cool. I don't want to get any further into this story because what happens next is extremely spoiler. There's no way to continue on with this without going into heavy spoilers. All I can say, it's absolutely crazy. So, without that being said, we are going to go ahead and wrap up in terms of what are we going to be talking about in the story. But now we're going to just go into my opinion of everything that happened in this. And I gotta say, I absolutely loved it. Wonder Woman killed it for all of her comments that she had towards the Dark Knights. I mean, she cracked so many good liners to them and all that stuff, and it's like they did not have an answer to it. Batman with his new tools, getting to see everything that he's using and bringing to the fight is absolutely killer. I was so hype once when all this stuff started happening and seeing what Batman is bringing to the table to fight Batman Who Laughs and his army. And it's just absolutely wild. And then you get to see all these new Batman, the new Dark Knights, because you hear that some of them are like had their mind transferred and all that stuff. So you have like the T Rex who has like um, the eyes of Batman in his mouth and everything like that. It's really cool stuff. I absolutely loved it. I love the theme. I love this how the story is being played so far. Everything from Wonder Woman, Batman, and all the other characters that are being used in this play and everything like that is super cool. I wasn't too sure about how I was feeling about the theme first being like super medieval and all that stuff, but honestly, it just all the events that happen in is really cool. You also get to go back to the main character or the one character that you see at the beginning of the comic at the very end too, uh, and just kind of seeing like how he's wrapping up and seeing what he's doing and what how he plays into all of this. I also think you see Jonah Hex. I'm not 100% sure on that one, but anyone who's watching it, if you can confirm that we actually see Jonah Hex in it, I'm not 100% sure at all. I'm actually not like I have certainty. I would probably put it at like a 30% certain that it is him, but uh, the way the character looks and how Batman addresses him, it might be Jonah Hex. I think that'd be really cool to see. If I'm wrong, don't hate me on it because I mean it just happens. Seeing how Perpetua has been doing, how Batman Who Laughs has just been basically taking over the world, and how he is running the show and passing everything off. Hell or Themyscira, how it all looks really cool. Wonder Woman looks amazing, and like I said, she just completely steals the show, and I absolutely loved every moment of it. So with all that being said, guys, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the video. Don't forget to leave a like. Don't forget to share to your friends, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. If you liked the video, and want to comment, tell me what you think. I mean, and especially if you knew if that was Jonah Hex or not, because I'm curious. I'm pretty sure it was, but also I could be dead wrong because it could be anybody. But it just seemed a little bit too straightforward for it to not be Jonah Hex. Again, this was DC Death Metal. If you haven't, if you've been thinking about getting into a story arc, I think this is a great one to get into because there's so much going on and it's so cool. Again, I absolutely loved it. So I think everyone should really jump in on this and see what they have to deal with, and how the story continues. I can't wait to see all the different one shots, all the different crossovers with everything. Uh, so yeah, I absolutely loved it. Tell me what you guys saw of the video. Tell me what you think of DC Death Metal. Tell me what you think of the Batman Who Laughs, all that stuff. But also, if you have read the story, please keep spoilers out of the comments as best as you can. That would be really appreciated. I tried keeping as comment or spoilers as little as possible here. I mean, I thought that what I said wasn't a huge deal, uh, but it was awesome. I absolutely loved it. I hope you guys do too. We'll see you in the next video. You guys all take care. Have a good night.